Hey, what's going on? Ryan here with Intersection Records. Sunday, haven't put anything out in a couple days, so I thought I'd kind of get on and rant. Just had band practice. My band, Lords of Insanity, is playing next Saturday at Sky Music Lounge in Baldwin, Missouri, which is outside of St. Louis. 6:30 to 9. Usually we close, but we're playing the early show, which is actually nice. Get a chance to chill and hang out with people and watch another band afterwards. Meant to get the Aerosmith ranking show out today, but that's going to be probably tomorrow, maybe Tuesday. Lot to unpack on 15 albums and such great material. Really surprised how much some of those other albums after, their heyday, how good those are. Forgot a little bit about those. And I was just kind of thinking about bands in general, and of course the Toxic Twins, the Steven Tyler and Joe Perry had their problems, and a lot of bands that stay together, even bands that do, the bar scene on a minor level, like my band. You can have issues that knock the fun out of the projects and make you not want to play, and make you not want to talk to your bandmates. It's a goal that you have to play well. Everybody's coming from a different set of influences. Fighting over song selections, obviously something. I saw something on the internet this week. Alice Cooper, who was friends in the 70s with John Lennon. The Hollywood Vampires is what they called themselves, I guess. Harry Nilsson and Mickey Dolenz and Lennon and Alice Cooper. Alice Cooper said that the Beatles absolutely would have gotten back together at some point if John Lennon wasn't murdered. It's a pretty cool thing to think about. They were brothers. Paul and John were brothers, and when Alice was hanging out with John, if somebody were to say something bad about Paul, John was ready to fight that guy, and vice versa. Paul didn't let anybody talk trash about John. They just had a falling out after, 13 years of just playing together, sleeping in the same, rooms together, and coming up in the bar scene and playing 3 sets a night, or 6 sets a night in Germany, and the Cavern Club, and all those little small gigs that got them to the world stage. And then, paparazzi, and getting married and having kids and growing up. And, by the time you're 29 years old, you're fried. It's cool to think. I think Lennon was planning on doing a tour in 81. His great album came out in 1980. God, I can't think of the name of the album. Anyway, his last album with Woman and Watching the Wheels Go Round and Round, that was a comeback record for sure. And it was fabulous. God, I can't think of the name of the record. Anyway, it's quite stunning, some of the material on there. And it's sad to think that he was only 40 years old. He was, a couple years older than Paul, and I think maybe 3 or even 4 years older than George. Just so much that could have been done, so much that he did in the time that he was alive. You think about it with your own bands. We hadn't practiced in a long time until today, and plug the old Strat in. My 62 reissue. It's a 94 1962 reissue with my Mesa head, and get the blood flowing again. We hadn't practiced in, don't tell anybody, but like 2 months, maybe a little longer than that. We have a gig on Saturday night. We hadn't been in the same room. And then after 10 years, it makes you not want to. You need the break sometimes, but when you get back and you can get get some work done and play those songs and play some new songs that you haven't played. We played Stay With Me by Faces tonight and Tush by ZZ Top, songs that we hadn't played before. Played a little bit of Stay by U2. It gets the blood flowing, and you remember why you love your brothers and your band. As much as you can kind of get at each other's throats, it's still, there's a reason why you're doing it. There's a reason why the chemistry can be great. And we're going to have to play a few more times to get it right for Saturday night. But, that challenge, we're up for it. And there's something to be said about being fresh. And sometimes being fresh is slightly under-rehearsed. I don't know. It works for us sometimes. But anyway, I'm going to get the Aerosmith ranking out. I'm working on a Jethro Tull ranking. I'm working on some Miles Davis stuff. We're going to unpack parts of his career, probably do a little history on him and maybe a few parts. And we're going to talk about some of the records in the different eras. I know my channel kind of jumps around a little bit, and I hope that you're enjoying kind of going on the ride on some of this stuff, because I think it's important. I think he's one of the most important artists really in the last century of all time in popular music. So we're going to do a little bit of Miles. We're going to do some jazz fusion shows on ranking my favorite fusion albums. I'm working on a Police show on the Police, probably ranking the top 5 albums, which is easier than, doing a Aerosmith 15 or whatever. Working on a Stones show. Just lots of stuff. I got concert reviews coming on the pipe. Big Head Todd and Blues Traveler on Friday. Trying to get up to Chicago to see Shotki, which is John McLaughlin with Bella Fleck. We're going out to the Crossroads Guitar Festival in LA next month, which is just going to be fabulous. I'm working on seeing Al Di Meola in Indianapolis. There's lots of new records out there. The new Wolfgang Van Halen album. I reviewed that. It's fantastic if you haven't heard it. It plays all the instruments. Really, really digging it. Anyway, just some thoughts on a beautiful Sunday. It's going to be a beautiful week here in St. Louis. It'll start cooling down, hopefully, but we'll catch you. Peace out. See you later.